Welcome back, vintage gamers. Challenge day. I'm gonna play some null rods. There's a lot of individuals right now who are playing illegal decks. In the fact that they die to collect a roof, but there are no collector roofs to punish them. There's Seed of the Cyanods, coveted jewels, all kinds of stuff running around. So we are gonna punish the heathens. Yeah, we'll go with heathens. Why not? With some null rods. This is one of my preferred Null Rod decks. It's just a pile of artifacts that attack. So, Chrome Moxes? Exactly not me. You understand. So basically just an aggro shops deck, and in our flex slots, we're going to play some Null Rods. I like Metamorph with the initiative metagame. It also combos pretty well with your attacking creatures and your redundancy in terms of spheres. Obviously, it can be hard to really lock someone out of the game with only 5-6 spheres. So if you draw one, Metamorph can become another one, which is very nice. Sideboard, we got the heavy hitters. We got a pile of anti-graveyard plus anti-oath. We have some dismembers. I don't know, maybe mono white. We have a pile of cards that will come into mono white, because mono white on the play will probably keep null rods in, but on the draw, it will board null rods out. So we got things like Argentum Masticore, Skyship, Shadow Sphere, Crucible. And then, of course, for the pesky combo gamers, we do have some Mind Break Traps. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. There's not that much to discuss. Mishra's Workshop is a powerful card, and hopefully it will do some serious work for us today. See you in round one of... looks like it'll be 6 rounds, and we will be battling. If you'd like to see your deck played on this channel, check out the Patreon link in the description below, where you can find all the information you need to submit a donation deck list. Let's battle. Okay, let's battle. I'm ready. On the play, we've got a hand that really could use some mana. Damn. My opponent plays a Wasteland. It'd be so bad for me. It's probably a keep, though. Hull Breacher, Underworld Breach, maybe? Yeah, I'm going to just keep this and then slam a sphere. And then we can debate whether we want to play like Null Rod or Revoker or whatever on the next one. We do need to draw lands for this hand to work, but it's a little rough because if we play Null Rod, we're going to not be able to play things through Sphere until we draw another land. So, oh. My opponent has revealed Chancellor. Okay, so I think that means we are going to change our choice here. And we're going to go Ancient Tomb, Pearl, and then Null Rod to stop them from playing a early mono white card. However, this hand is pretty bad against mono white. We'll need to make sure if we don't hit land drops, we will be in pretty big trouble. But if we hit a workshop, we have some chances. And we should at least buy a turn, I would hope, with our Null Rod. However, if my opponent has something like Plains Ancient Tomb, then it doesn't really work. So. But this should hopefully slow them down. And then we'll like... oh, no, they have Wasteland. All right, well, we need to draw a workshop. If we draw a workshop, I think we're winning. If we don't draw a workshop, we're probably not winning. Not workshop. I did not expect my opponent to be on mono white. Not sure I've seen them play mono white before. Wasteland. Sphere. I did do this to myself. I still don't think my hand is a mulligan, but if I knew my opponent was on mono white, I would have mulliganed probably. Yeah, I mean, this game would probably have been hard even if my opponent wasn't on mono white, because I would have just, I mean, every turn I would have played, like, I'd have a sphere, and then every turn I play Revoker, it would have been fine. But Wasteland was not something I was ready to beat. I don't know. Doesn't really feel like I was supposed to mulligan, though. I was just gonna be a Thalia. That'd be really kind of rough, right? Patchwork. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's not even like we drew Wastelands. We just drew no lands, right? Not what we wanted to see. The good news is we can trade out, like, spheres next game for Skyship, Masticore, Shadow Sphere. Maybe you don't play Shadow Sphere when you have Null Rods in. Probably fine. Crucible, Dismembers. I don't know. What can I say? I kept the one lander. I don't have that many lands in my deck. Maybe I could be convinced I was made a mistake, but man, they had a. Oh, they're out of lands. They're out of lands. Okay, okay, okay. I will take any land, even a wasteland. Well, maybe not a saga. Saga looks a little bad here, but I guess saga is fine. I'll take saga. Jeez. All right. Well, we just have to hope they also don't hit any lands for the rest of the game. All right. They missed. They missed. Workshops. Oh God. Yeah. I don't know. Everyone's missing. No one plays any lands. I'm pretty sure they play a lot more lands than I do, right? Or maybe it's near the same. My land's tapped for 3 mana, though. Trust. Please? Please? Come on, it's been 6 draw steps. I feel like a crumb of a workshop would be more than reasonable. I hate this game. Only the most high-powered plays happen in this vintage format. I mean, yeah, Null Rod held the fort. We would have gotten initiative. All right, they're discarding the hand size. Rest in peace, Chancellor. All right, workshop, please. Ancient Tomb, I accept. What is my best Ancient Tomb play? Is it Patchworky or is it Revoker? Oh, I can't revoke a Wasteland, unfortunately. Probably just Patchwork. See if they choose to Wasteland. I assume they'll Wasteland me if they don't draw a land. And if they do... Oh, they just... Yeah, that's... Oh, they can pay. Okay, sure. I kind of did not really consider that they could pay. That's fine. All right, so if they don't draw a land here, I assume they Wasteland. They didn't draw land and they didn't Wasteland? Interesting. I can draw Saga now. God, do I play Sphere? There's just no way. There's just no way. I mean, I discarded all my other spheres for a reason, but it does, like, stop them from playing things. Theoretically. Uh, All right. I mean, they haven't drawn any lands either. All right. I'm doing it. Well, it does actually still stop them, because if they draw Tomb, then the thing they're trying to play is Seasoned Dungeoneer, and this doesn't cast Seasoned Dungeoneer, and it also doesn't cast Cleric. It only casts Lauren or it only casts Lauren or Dahlia. Like, this is a bad Cavern, right? I assume they played this Cavern because they have Seasoned Dungeoneer in their hand. So, like, if I hadn't played a Sphere in this on this turn, I would lose the game to Seasoned Dungeoneer. So I actually think it was correct. So here's Lauren. They're gonna blow up the Null Rod, maybe? No, they're just gonna blow up the... Okay. I could really use a Wasteland or a Workshop. Okay, there's a Wasteland. The problem is I might die to this Lauren if I... I mean, I have to Wasteland them, right? And just hope I draw a Workshop. Oh boy. Like, I do think we probably would lose the game if we didn't have a Sphere, but... Alright, here we go. It's Workshop or bust. Like, this game is over. Like, it all depends on if I draw Workshop, because my opponent's not gonna be able to play any spells. Oh, they're gonna draw cards? You're nuts. You're crazy. Workshop? Saga. Do we play Saga? Yeah, I guess so. Like, it's gonna vanish, but... Are they gonna keep drawing cards? No, they've decided to stop drawing cards. Can I draw a Workshop? That's my whole deck. Yeah. It's gonna vanish on me now. Right. What a weird game. I mean, if I draw a Workshop, I'm pretty sure we win. See, there's the Seasoned Dungeoneer. Chalice. Do I Needle Wasteland? I think so. This is fine, I guess. They're gonna activate? I still think activating here is so bad for them. I would not be activating if I was them. God, can we draw Academy or Workshop? Please. Yes! The game continues. God bless. I'm gonna name Lauren now. I guess they can have a Solitude. Yeah, they have a Solitude. Okay. I think this name on Wasteland was good. I still don't have another creature that I can play through the Sphere. Man, the Lauren activations are aggressive. They still haven't hit any more lands, though. That's kind of wild. How many more attacks they have? Couple. Land? That's fine. I accept. This is a game. We're on turn 16. Snap block. They just have hit less lands than I have. That's impressive. I still can't play any of these things. Oh yeah, I can't play that either. I guess it doesn't matter because I can't play 2 1-drops anyways. What are they? Both sides of this game have had a... Oh! I believe that Sphere won us the game. I am pretty convinced the Sphere was the play. So I think here I'm just going to play 2 of these and present lethal. Easy game. Shops is broken. All you need to do is draw workshop. So I played Inspector because I want to be able to cast 2 spells on the next turn, which I think insulates me better. How did I get the missing decks? I asked people. I just used the social engineering. Okay, that was like a 20-something turn game 1 of this challenge. Now we are on the draw against mono white, where I do not like most of my cards. Like Chalice, Thorn, Sphere, Trinisphere, and Null Rod. So let's see how many cards we can bring in. Almost. I do think if I had not cast Sphere of Resistance, we would have lost that game. So I think there was an opportunity to lose that game. Which is kind of crazy. All right, so what is the best card to keep out of these 11 cards? I need to keep 3 cards. Which of my 3 cards are the best on the draw here? Chalice on 1 for Swords to Plowshares, probably. And then... Oh, yeah. Okay, I can do that. I guess Sphere? Kind of weird, but it's gonna look way different on the play. I have joined the dark side. I don't know. People need to be punished for playing Seed of the Cyanod, so they must be done. Is this a hand that actually beats mono white? My gut tells me no. If we had like at least a Nettle Cyst, then maybe. Foundry doesn't do anything, as I currently have nothing to play with my Foundry. I'm gonna mulligan this hand. This hand is a bit better, yeah. Oh, my opponent revealed a Chancellor, so I guess we will not be mind break trapping our opponent. That is unfortunate. Null Rod? Oh, honey. What are you doing? All right, they're a genius. They're a genius. It's fine. They're just a genius. I would have had hard cast mind break trap. Oh, yeah, I'm an idiot. That's fine. Rest in peace, Black Lotus. It's okay. The Null Rod's never coming off the table, so this is just an artifact in play. Ah, yeah, I just blanked for a second. Sorry. It's okay. We're waking up still. You know, it's 1 p.m. in the afternoon. We're absolutely still in wake up mode. God, these Revokers are so bad against my opponent as well. I just don't have enough cards to bring in. That Black Lotus literally is just the 0 mana artifact that has no text. I forget what it's called. Wasteland. Okay, all right. Why do I even have Revoker in my deck? I mean, I don't have enough cards to bring in. Dark Steel Relic. That's the one I was looking for. Like, Revoker is not worse than a Sphere in this matchup on the draw. This Null Rod can't be removed. So there's just no point in naming anything. I mean, I'm just like, I guess I'm only looking from the perspective of there's been a Null Rod in play both games. Revoker is fine in this matchup. What matchup is Revoker good against? Every matchup that's not Bazaar of Baghdad. And even then, the aggro Vine matchup is fine. I'm not really sure I want to play this Saga, to be honest with you. I think I'm going to hold it. Like the whole point of shops is that you restrict them on mana utilizing spheres, revokers, and wastelands. That's the whole deck. I can't believe my opponent brought in Null Rod after I played main deck Null Rod in game 1 against them. That blows my mind. Lotus Petal. All right, come on, baby. Ancient Tomb. Lodestone Golem. We got a problem. Yeah, they hit lands before we did this time. It's a human, so it means that it's a Lauren. No, it's not a human, so that means it's a White Plume Adventurer. Yeah, that's a problem. No, my opponent's Null Rod literally made them not be able to play Magic. Like, their deck is weak to Null Rod. My deck doesn't actually care about Null Rod. For the most part. Oh, why? All right, well, I do think we're going to lose to the initiative here because we have not drawn lands. We kept a 3-land hand and drew no lands, which is not great. Turn 1 Null Rod on the play is good for me. I don't think it's that good for my opponent. I don't even think turn 2 Null Rod is good for me. I think it's only about turn 1 Null Rod. Like, that's why I board out Null Rod on the draw. This is making me feel like I should be playing like a City of Traders or something. Yeah, my opponent had double Wasteland. It happens. Oh, they went Stash? Interesting. I would have think they would go Forge. I'm gonna discard Mindbreak Trap so that they fear Mindbreak Trap in game 3. But I probably won't have Mindbreak Trap in my deck, so. Alright, well, the top of my deck has not been very kind. Wow, impressive. Magic Shuffler? Shuffler? Hello? Okay, I'm going to bring these Null Rods back in. I'm going to take out Mindbreak Trap. So the question is, do we play Spheres? We definitely play Trinisphere. I don't think so. Well, it depends. Like, Revoker is fine if we don't have a Null Rod in our opening hand. I don't know. Do we keep Shadow Spear with this many Null Rods? Probably. I feel like you just get trapped under your own sphere in this matchup. I'm gonna go like this. So we're looking for turn 1 a bunch of yeah, that's what we're looking for. I mean, we're gonna get wastelanded in this game again. I think Sphere is bad. Like I actively think playing Sphere in this matchup is bad. I don't think it's good. This hand needed an additional Moxen so I could play Lodestone on turn 1. I think I'm putting this hand back. It doesn't actually do anything, and then I just get wastelanded and lose. This hand is much better. This hand is quite good. I think it's just put back Ruby and slam Chalice Crucible. This hand is super good. This Chalice is the same thing as Null Rod in this matchup, and it stops their fast mana, and then I can just wasteland lock them. Maybe I should have kept Ruby in case they play Chancellor. I still think I need these other cards, though, so I think the answer is no. So they did play a Chancellor, which I think it's still fine. Like, it's okay if we get wastelanded or anything, because we still have Workshop Crucible. They passed. I mean, I have to develop my board, so. What a weird set of games. That's game over. Well, I mean, my opponent can't play any Moxen and they can't play any lands. So, like, what play are they going to make? It's not because my opponent didn't have lands or Moxen. It's because my opponent had lands and Moxen. Like, they have no way to progress this game in a meaningful way. Chalice is a really messed up Magic card, for anyone wondering. Like, this is a good keep from them. It's just they lost because I had a Chalice. I think I don't know when they drew the Wasteland, I guess, but what was Vintage like before Chalice was restricted? Really stupid. Okay, round 2 of 6. We're up against the deck 84. We did not win the die roll. Our opponent only plays Grixis Breach. This hand, it looks good. Have an answer to Saga. Have answers to Moxen and spells. We can get like murdered by turn 1 Tinker here, but we're always going to get murdered by turn 1 Tinker, so. F6. Misty. So this looks like Tomb, Ruby, Revoke, Sapphire. I don't think I want to... I guess I could actually just go Thorn. I don't think that's actually better, though. They have a basic? I didn't think so. Oh, is this going to be Vamp? I assume this is just Ancestral. Yeah. Volcanic. Pearl. Pass. Another Revoker. They're just going to force it. Pitching gifts. Interesting. We're clocking pretty quick here. 3 cards left in my opponent's hand. I guess this Ruby has done absolutely nothing, which is kind of interesting. But maybe we'll draw a 3-drop or something. Blue, blue, Dress Down. Wow. Okay. Sure. That's a cantrip. I feel like I would save this for later, but I'm not. Maybe they're like 1 card away from comboing or something. Jet. Not great. So the question is, I can probably get away with Wastelanding now, right? I think I should beat a Saga at this point. Is there a card here that makes any sense? Jack Faden, Narset. Time Vault, Key. I mean, I have a Null Rod in play. The problem is if they are able to answer all of this anyways, it's just not going to matter, but... Let's go Dag Faden, I guess. They could go like Tolarian Academy Dak Faden. Null Rod. Alright, that was a big win. So they're on 2 breach, 1 freeze, Tinker stuff. Yeah, so maybe like Narset was better than Dak slightly. I don't really know if we're gonna bring in anything. It feels good to bring in a cage. And maybe there's a world where Crucible is good here. Not sure. It's probably gonna be not a crazy amount. I'm not even convinced you want to bring in Mindbreak Trap here. I don't even know what I want to take out. I think all these cards are good. Needle's like a little sus, but I think it's good to have for Saga and Volt Key and stuff. I think I'm just gonna bring in a cage so that I have that option against to get off Saga for Breach, Citadel, and Tinker. I guess the question is, do I want Mindbreak Traps or not? Because I definitely want Null Rod. Maybe I'll play some Mindbreak Traps. I don't know if that's right. It feels a little sus to me, but... yeah, this is a keep. Sapphire? Uh-oh. Well, it's going to be kind of hard to lock my opponent out of this game. Interesting. So I can go Revoker, Sphere, Wasteland. Or I can go Lodestone. Or I can go Revoker, Sphere, Saga. I feel like I like Revoker, Sphere, Wasteland. My opponent is on Biforce, one of, Hercules, one of. Man, if I get Hercules here, it's so bad for me. So I can go... I don't have the mana to go, like, Revoker... Like, I can't play one and then go to second main, right? Unless I don't Wasteland, in which case it doesn't help me. Well, I could go Lotus, Sapphire, Revoker, Sphere, and then they're forced to go in response, in which case I can replay Sapphire Wasteland. Okay. I think that makes the most sense. I'm gonna revoke Mana Crypt, for those wondering. Oh, I'm getting my Lotus negated. I see. So what's my best play? My best play is probably still revoking Mana Crypt. You have force blue card and you want to force this, leaving yourself with 1 card. Wow. Okay. So my opponent has 1 card in hand and 4 mana. If they have a Tinker, this works pretty well for them, right? They have 1 card in hand and they have 1,000,000 mana. So the question becomes, what is my best play? Probably make a construct. Like they could have another force that they could hard cast if I play Nettlesys there, and Sphere doesn't really restrict them at this point. Saga of their own. So the question is going to be kind of hard for us to answer on, do we wasteland their Saga or do we try to do something else? I guess it depends on our draw. Another Saga. Okay, so now I think we're just wastelanding their Saga and fetching a Soul Ring. Or we can go Lodestone Sphere. That's probably pretty good too. I could just get Cage. Locking them out of what? There's a lot of different things we can lock them out of here. But the fact is they have 1,000,000 mana, right? I think I like Mana Vault, Lodestone, Sphere. I think this play is fine. I guess this play doesn't let me make another construct right now, but I guess I am 1 away from killing them. I didn't think about that. I guess because I lost the flip. This looks like it's going to be Biforce, kill my whole board. That's unfortunate. I don't think there's any world where I was going to hit the Volcanic, so this is going to be 1, 2, 3. Yeah. All right, well, we need to draw an Ancient Tomb, I guess. They have only 1 Biforce in their deck. It's just unfortunate. All right. I can turn my Saga into a Lotus and play a Nettle Cyst, which would at least threaten a lethal attack at some point here, maybe. Black Lotus. What's their last card? Hull Breacher. Okay, I can't get a Black Lotus. Fair. I need to hit lands. Null Rod. That's interesting. Probably doesn't help me though, right? Because I still just get beat by Breach anyways. We don't have a key in our deck. So I can go Soul Ring Patchwork Automaton. Or I can go Cage. Sky just be creatures. Cage does stop a lot of their best top decks. They also have an active mana crypt, so they don't have that much time, I hope. They lost another flip down to 5. Top decked Needle. Okay, that'll probably name Wasteland, I assume. Yeah. All right, I mean, Workshop would be nice. Ancient Tomb would be nice. Wasteland is fine. I'm going to go Wasteland, Null Rod, attack, and then if they don't draw something, then we can hit the Null Rod, the Academy after. I think that's a really good draw. They have to block this, or they're going to be putting themselves dead to Mana Crypt. And then we should just win with the game with Mana Crypt, I hope. We have to dodge like a Tinker or a Twister or something on this turn. Why am I using Wasteland? Because my spell costs 3 mana. I'm confused. Yeah, I'm going to waste their Academy after I have to use my Wasteland to play Null Rod, and now Oh. I can't waste their Academy. Noted. I mean, I don't think my play changes. Like, I was threatening lethal. Yeah, my play is probably the same no matter what. They lost another flip, so now they have 1 flip left. They can always draw Tinker, though. They can't draw Demonic at this point, which is kind of nice. We still have Workshop draws that let us play our creatures as well. But, I mean, can they lose 4 Mana Crypt flips in a row? Are they me? They are me. Wow, that's unfortunate. I feel like we got pretty lucky there. Take it. Okay, welcome. Round 3 of 6 Vintage Challenge. Currently 2-0. We've got, I actually don't know what this opponent plays, so that was fun, but we did win the die roll. Our hand consists of no sphere effects, but I'm probably going to keep it, so. I know Not Me will get mad at me if I keep this hand, but I think it's fine. Ooh, Chancellor of the Annex. So, mono white. So, now we actually have some choices. I believe we can name Chromox with this Revoker. That would make the most sense. So, unfortunately, I can't pay for this Chancellor in a convincing way, right? I guess I just have to throw my Sapphire into the void. Because I can't pay for this with Workshop. So I guess we just throw the Sapphire into the void and Revoker Chromox. Obviously, we lose out on a lot of patchwork stuff, but I think naming Chromox gives us the highest chance of not getting completely pummeled from a really aggressive draw. Obviously, like, they can have Black Lotus and we'll be sad, but I think that's fine. Next turn, if they don't Wasteland us, we can play Automaton and then Metamorph. F6. Wasteland, okay. That's definitely going to stifle our development. Okay, we have a new target, though. If we can hit another Workshop, then we can Metamorph and turn off their Sapphire. We drew a Nettle Cyst. Okay. I mean, this might be another game where we just don't draw a land and are sad, but what are we going to do? I guess theoretically we could have thrown away the Patchwork Automaton. Maybe we should have done that. So instead of throwing away Mox, we could have thrown away Patchwork and gone Sapphire Revoker, and that way we would have a Sapphire, and we would be able to play. I mean, we wouldn't have a 2-drop to play anyways through a Wasteland, so maybe it doesn't matter. Oh my gosh, they had Solitude plus Chrome Mox. Brutal. Yeah, I mean, I think we're dead. Opponent just had all the right answers to the cards we presented. Wow. That's basically the perfect response. So we have like Workshop, Mana Crypts, and then we can make our own Dungeoneer, but Null Rod. All right, we're dead. It's kind of frustrating. I don't really think I could have played this differently. I mean, I think I played it, well, I could have thrown the Patchwork and that would have kept us a Sapphire, which would have been better here. Hard to make that call, but because Patchwork is quite good in this matchup. Unfortunately, we're just never going to race a Seasoned Dungeoneer from this far behind. Would a Patchwork in play win the game? No, because I can't play Metamorph with a Mox in play because I still only 2 mana. We're still dead. We still would be dead if we made the other play. We've been kind of mana short, huh? Maybe we're just supposed to play a 19th land in this deck, like a City of Traders. All right, we just have not drawn mana ever in this, so maybe that's a huge mistake. All right, on the play, we're gonna keep in our Null Rods, but we're gonna take out our Spheres and bring in Sky Sovereign, Masticore, Crucible, Shadow Sphere, Dismember, and we took out a Revoker. Submit. Tolarian would not tap for 2. It would tap for 1 because there's no Revoker in play. No, our matches haven't really revolved around 5-drops or anything. Like, our matches have been who has mana. Like, all our mono-white matchups are just, do you have mana? Definitely keeping this hand. I guess if I do it... guess I gotta be careful, like, Mind Break Trap, maybe. Turn 1 Null Rod, quite good against mono-white. Yeah. I mean, I just don't think that I wanted to do the Sapphire play, but maybe I should have. Maybe I should have been cognizant of that. I don't know. If I turn off Sapphire, I turn off my own Sapphire, Bookworm. We both had Sapphires. It's symmetrical. All right, this is perfectly fine. We have tons of backup workshops in this hand. All right, I think we'll probably go to game 3. It's unfortunate because we lost our game 1 on the play. And this matchup is almost entirely based on the play, so... All right, in post board on the draw, you don't want Null Rod. We're gonna play Mind Break Trap and Revoker and 2 Spheres. All right, try again. Yep, I'm gonna keep this in. Yeah, I mean, like, I think Automaton is actually quite good in the matchup, which is why I was, you know, that's why I prioritized it over Sapphire, but maybe I should have played around Wasteland harder. It's definitely possible. All right, no Chancellor, so I actually have an online Mindbreak Trap if they play enough spells. See what happens. 1. Come on, second mox, second mox, second mox, second mox. Ugh. It's gonna be maybe a second mox? Value. Swords underneath Chrome Mox. Got him. That's good sideboarding. Opponent's like, what the heck have I done? This is just Nettle Cyst so that we can play aggressively through their next play. Ooh, a boat. All right, let's see what else they've got. A Seasoned Dungeoneer here is still hard for us to beat. Wasteland. Wasteland's quite good as well. Archon. Yeah? That's quite hard. Mox or something? Ooh. Yeah. That's definitely getting played. That was a good draw. Dungeoneer was by far the best card they could play, for sure. Yep, enchantments and artifacts. Also, we can, like, make Saga tokens, play a Metamorph. We're in a good spot. That Mindbreak Trap probably was the game winner. If we do end up winning this game. All right. I mean, Seasoned Dungeoneer there would still be annoying. Another Nettle Cyst. They have Hardcast Solitude. They do have Hardcast Solitude. It's just better to get our Saga value. We also have Shadow Spear. They drew Wasteland. Okay. Still winning on this board. I think I should have wasted them in my draw step. I think if I waste them in my draw step, it helps me play around Solitude, but I don't actually think playing around Solitude does anything. So maybe it doesn't matter. Is there like any upside if I stop them from the stuff, the things? All right, they don't have it, so. All right, they're at 1. They can't use Ancient Tomb. All they can do is play 3 drops. I can't think of a 3 drop that wins here, so should be in a good spot. Mindbreak Trap. All right, not bad. This deck seems really strong. So the only thing that was interesting, or the only thing to really think about in this was in game one, should we have thrown the patchwork into the fire instead of the sapphire? And it's a very meaningful consideration that I don't think I gave enough credit to. That was like the only super big thing. I guess they could have a pitch cast Solitude, but they can't hit all three, so. Yeah, you basically want Null Rod on the play against this deck so that they can't play their turn 1 3-drop. Like the opponent's entire deck is based on playing turn 1 3-drops. So if you play Null Rods in your shop deck on the play against your mono white opponent, they can't do anything, and then you win through like attrition. On the draw, your opponent's going to be able to deploy all their Moxen anyways, so you can't stop that. Okay, we're on to round 4, Vintage Challenge, Aggro Shops. Let's see. On the play, we've got all mana Wasteland. Interesting. Huh, interesting. We do have a strip mine, and we can lead on Saga plus mana. And they have been known to play Bazaar in the past. I think this is a keep, which could be wrong, but I think this is like Saga Sol Ring Go. Hold these. Well, it does two things. One, it makes them immediately have to answer a Saga. And two, it disrupts their game plan if their game plan is Bazaar or Saga themselves. Like, if they don't have an answer to Saga in their opening hand, they're going to get murdered by this draw. And it's not like we have nothing. We basically have two things. I think it's fine. I also, think my opponent has a higher likelihood of being Bazaar than the average player, and so having a hand that actively has a Wasteland is very important. So I think it's fine. This hand has inherent risk to it, by all means. You're not wrong. But I think it's acceptable. This hand dies to everything. I don't agree with that statement. The record is in the bottom left corner of the stream, the same place it always is. Oh, they revealed Chancellor of the Annex. Okay, this is not bad. If my opponent doesn't have a Wasteland in their starting hand, they lose. I'm going to play this all out in case they play Archon. That's the best way to be a Twitch chatter. So they have to have Wasteland in their starting hand or they are going to lose this game, I would say. But if they have Wasteland, then we probably lose, for what it's worth. All right. Sapphire. Noxjet. Lotus. Sure. All right. I mean, all they need to do is play a Seasoned Dungeoneer now here, and that might race Saga. God, imagine if they have Seasoned Dungeoneer and Wasteland, then we definitely lose. Oh, are they playing a turn 1 Chancellor? Yo, turn one Chancellor. Yeah, I did watch the straight line mission. It was pretty fun. It was a good one. Turn one Chancellor. Yeah. Okay. I don't know if turn one Chancellor beats Saga here. I don't think it does. And Pearl? All right, I really need some... I like a second Saga, maybe. Okay. I mean, if they follow this up with a Seasoned Engineer... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's not a Seasoned Engineer. I don't have the Shadow Spear in the main, though. That's kind of unfortunate. If I had the Shadow Spear in the main, I think I would be, like, in a really, really nice spot. Lauren would be bad. I'm not 100% sure this race is still good for us. I wish I had the Shadow Spear. Artifact is better than a land. I guess we're gonna need a Wasteland. And then this thing gets countered unless I pay 1. And then do we strip the planes? Is that even good? I think it's good. This is not racing, right? Oh, I just fucking... I didn't think they would not block. All right. Well, if we lose by 1 health, it's my fault. Sorry. I just didn't think they would not block. My bad. I just clicked through it because I assumed that... okay. I don't think that the 1 health will matter. 8, 9... Sorry, 8, 9, 10. Oh my god, the 1 health is going to matter because these things are not going to be 11-11s. Oh my god, they have Elemental Solitude here? Oh no. I just was so confused that they didn't block. Sorry. It blew my mind. I was like, how, wait, what? I'm doing damage? I guess it takes 2 life for them to play the Solitude. I guess they can Solitude now, so I gain 1 less life, so I probably should have made this earlier. I feel like I made like 2 minor sequencing mistakes already. They should probably just do it now so that I gain 1 less life. They might just not have it either. I guess that's totally possible as well. Oh my god, if I don't draw an artifact this turn, it was just such a bad punt. Ugh. That's really sad. I threw this game super hard, huh? That's really bad. So I lose, right? Yeah. Oh, wait, I searched for an artifact, so... Yeah. Okay, this is fine, though. Not fine, but they actually took 2 life. So this is fine, right? Now I have 3 lethal. Oh, no, because they have a solitude. They just have to chump and hit me in the air and I lose. Nah, we lost. They just have to chump 1 with solitude and then they hit me in the air. Oh no, I gained all that life. Oh no. I gained so much life. The no block was so crazy. I guess we go. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they won if they just don't solitude something. I think we're just scrying because trap and forge don't matter because yeah, it's solitude is up to 1. Null Rod Revoker. Do we have a better draw? They are gonna have to draw a creature and play it. I guess if we can draw a null, I don't think wasting Tomb helps, right? I would just waste Cavern. I guess I would waste nothing because I have a needle on waste. I don't get any of these anyways. I just draw them next turn. Well, Revoker stops Pearl, so it's like the same thing, right? Except I don't lose my mana. I think my opponent threw this game. I mean, I also had a bad play in this game, but I think my opponent like legitimately threw the game with both of the Solitude and White Plume plays. I'm pretty sure they're supposed to win this game, even if I play 100% accurate. I guess they can still draw a creature this turn and then triple chump. And that would maybe beat me. Oh, yeah, but I kept Revoker instead of Null Rod, so well, it doesn't matter. So that wouldn't beat me because it's triple chump. If they have triple chump into draw an initiative creature, Throne of the Dead, a Solitude, or just Lauren is like insane. If they find Lauren, that's like that's the biggest one, right? Lauren just answers a thing and chumps. Yeah, I mean if they find Lauren, we lose to the flyer because of trap. I mean, they don't have a choice here. They're just supposed to trap me. They're probably just playing a couple matches at the same time. I don't know, not me. Like, everybody, I mean, that can be said about any deck. Overall, I think we kept a good hand. I don't know. Like, if my opponent had Wasteland, our hand was pretty bad, right? I don't know. I feel like most people are making bad decisions on with any deck they play. God! That's unbelievable. We actually lose the game to that. That is unbelievable. That's crazy. They just double jump and kill me in the air. That's disgusting. That's really, really frustrating. All right. I thought we would win that game for sure after our opponent played turn 1 Chancellor and we had Saga. Ah, I should have main deck Shadow Sphere. If I main deck Shadow Spear, I win this game. If I had just played Shadow main, we would have won this game. I think that's on me for bad deck building. I guess I could have also drawn like Metamorph as a flyer. So maybe I should have bottomed. Maybe I should have bottomed and tried to rip Metamorph as a flyer. Huh. I didn't consider that. It at least gives me 4 outs if they top deck their best card. I think we're going to be waiting here for 2 minutes as my opponent plays one of their triple Q matches. Losing that match is tough. I'm going to pause while we wait for them. All right, on the play again. Yeah. I think that should be fine. It's worse than our last hand that was like this, but it's still fine. They did play turn. They've revealed double Chancellor. They revealed double Chancellor. I guess that is annoying. How do I play into around that? I feel like we just get a Saga going. The problem is this: I can't cast this Dismember, so if they like go turn 1 Archon, it's just super doomed. Pearl as well? That's nuts. I mean, they just have the Stone Cold nuts every time. White Plume. I like need this Dismember to resolve, right? It might not even be good enough. Yeah, I mean, this is the worst possible outcome. Maybe I should have mulliganed? I don't know. This feels like a reasonable keep. I kind of need to draw Mox to throw away. Or no, I think I still have to throw away the Lotus because I want to strip mine. So I think what I'm going to do is throw away the Lotus, strip mine the Ancient Tomb, and then when they go to Forge, I'll dismember. And that way, on my upkeep, I can make a Soul Ring and play a Crucible and strip mine again. And maybe we still just lose to the Undercity in this route, but I think it'll be worth it. I guess if I get wastelanded, it's kind of annoying. I think I like the way I played this. Because if they play Plains and go, then we get to go Soul Ring, Crucible, Strip Mine, and stop them. And then at some point we need to steal the initiative back. But I think that's okay. Because then we can, on the next turn, we can replay our Saga. I don't think this game is lost yet, which is nice. Though I guess if they have second Ancient Tomb, it's pretty lost. Or if they drew Moxen, it's pretty lost. But I mean, I do know 3 of their 7 cards. Bro, come on. It's doomed. I mean, these are just top tier draws from Mono White. Really, really hard to beat these draws. I guess maybe I should have mulliganed to a Null Rod hand. I mean, they still had an Ancient Tomb hand. I mean, now they just have Plains play a 3-drop, and how am I ever beating that? I thought I'd keep them off mana this way, but they just had an additional... oh, now I can't even do the play I want to do. I guess I could still do the play I want to do. Is that good, though? The whole point of this play was that I would have a Soul Ring after. What if I just go, like, Shadow Spear? No. I don't think I'm going to be able to strip mine them. I mean, I can strip mine them if I go Mana Vault, and that's only good if they have Seasoned Dungeoneer in their hand. But I can't beat a Seasoned Dungeoneer, so... probably needed to do it anyways. I still have the ability to play creature with Workshop too if I want. I am just dying to this Undercity though. I don't know. It looks really bad. Like, keeping them off 4 mana is good, but keeping them, like, they're going to have 3 mana no matter, or as long as they have a land, they have 3 mana no matter what. And any 3-drop is killing me too. I feel like everything is killing me. Like, I'm going to have to play Patchwork this turn. But they're still going to be able to get a throne no matter what. It looks so doomed. Yeah, maybe they like go human, Lauren, kill my Crucible, Cleric, White Plume, go to Archives. Yeah, this is just too strong of a draw. This is just too strong of a draw. My opponent just has like this is too good. It's like almost impossible for me to beat that draw unless I kept a Null Rod hand, which is why I have 4 Null Rods in my deck, but I had to keep a Null Rod hand or I just was 100% dead to this. I'm still like 100% dead. It just doesn't even matter. No, I don't keep in Sphere against my opponent's deck. I don't think it's good. They brought in Null Rods against me. It's so bad. I feel like my opponent has played very, very questionably as well, and it just doesn't matter because their draws were good. I think bringing in Null Rod on the draw against this workshop deck is criminal. Like, extremely, extremely unreasonable. But they didn't have it in their opener, or maybe they do have one in their opener. It doesn't matter. Let's just go next. They're not on the play. Oh, you mean me on the play? I think it's not that good. Like, you're highly liable to get yourself cut off mana by playing Sphere against in this matchup. I don't think this matchup, the Sphere is the thing that matters in this matchup. I wouldn't put Sphere in on the play or on the draw. I just bore them all out. Okay, here we are, 5th round out of 6 rounds, Vintage Challenge. We're up against Crazy. Crazy has been playing some really interesting Luris-based decks, and I assume they're going to be so good against us. So, no, they didn't reveal Luris though, so maybe not. We have a pretty powerful hand, all things considered. We can go Workshop, Inspector, Mox, tap mana, Null Rod, Sphere, if we want. There's obviously other sequences. All right, so they did not reveal a Luris, so I'm not sure what our opponent's playing. That's not good. That sounds bad for us. I wonder if there's on bug. Oh, they're so good. It's fine. It's fine. We have powerful cards too. It's just, oh, Wasteland is their land for turn. Interesting. I don't think I want to play Null Rod. Whatever. Can't really stop them from doing Vigor things. I guess I can still play this Pearl, but... Sphere's pretty good here. See if they Wasteland me. Double Wasteland. Okay. They still have access to Vigor. I think I would rather get my workshop wastelanded than my tomb in case I draw. Well, I have Pearl, so I guess that's not really true. Okay, there's the foothills. So they definitely have the ability to vigor me. That's definitely a true statement. Null rods. This is where the null rods are a problem. Do we still play null rod anyways? I think so. Oh God. Well, if they have Wasteland, Wasteland, Vigor, I lose. So maybe I shouldn't have played this Null Rod. I just didn't think about more Wastelands. I probably should have held the workshop. I don't know. Everything costs one less anyways. Are they going to play like an oof here? Watch them have like Oath. Oh, Deathray Shaman, sure. I don't know. Like them wastelanding me is kind of a good thing. It means they have way less mana to use for actual good stuff. It's kind of copium angle, but probably should just hold the workshop. I think maybe I just shouldn't play the Null Rod. I was because they don't have Lotus left anyways, so there's like what's the real point of playing Null Rod here? Like everything already costs one more anyways. Yeah, I should just not play the Null Rod. I didn't really consider another Wasteland, and I probably can lose this game because of it if they just hit their Vigor. So this Null Rod play was I think the Null Rod play was worse than playing the workshop out. I mean, we'll see what happens, but I could definitely see us losing this game. Blue? Time Walk, I assume? Maybe it's Oko? No, it's blue. Narset? Main deck Energy Flux? Hello? What? Why did it order? It's self-ordered. I mean, it's self-ordered in the right way. So, I mean, we almost just lost this game because of the way it ordered. No, it didn't self-order in the right way. It auto-ordered, and it... Magic Online is terrible. I shouldn't have put on this one because this one let it self-order. If I had held this one till the end, it wouldn't have self-ordered. This game is one. This is a one game. This is so frustrating. I have 4 mana to pay for both my attackers. What an actual joke. I mean, they played to their outs of Magic Online auto-stacking my shit for me. So I have to draw. I can't win. I'm actually just lost. That's just the stupidest thing. If I did, so the worst part is I could have played around it auto stacking because I had a mana vault. If you don't have a mana vault, those triggers auto stack. Is it? Oh, it's because I have stack abilities automatically on. Oh, it's just my fault. It's fine. I needed to not F6, and then I have to turn off auto stack. It's fine. Whatever. I don't even think I can complain, right? I have stack abilities automatically turned on. I didn't expect my opponent to energy flux me in game 1, to be fair, but I can't win from here, right? I'm actually just lost. Like I actively had the win in play, but I'm actually lost from here. That's just gross. I was actually beating this. This wasn't even a good play. It's so sad. I'm never going to win this 2 more matches versus this deck either, so guess that's just top 8 gone. I could have played around it because I had a mana vault, which is like the worst part. If I just stack all of the, because I have a mana vault, it doesn't auto stack because it's 2 different kind of triggers. Or the minute I put the mana vault's pay to untap on the stack, it auto stacks all of the energy flux ones. So I could have used the mana vault one to stack the energy flux in the correct way, even though I had auto stack on. If I didn't have the mana vault, it would have just auto stacked because I have it turned on. You got me, I guess, opponent. Good job. So it's 4-color Deathrite Shaman. That is not a good place to be. We're going to probably bring in Sky Sovereign, Masticore, Crucible, and maybe Shadow Sphere. Could bring in Dismember, but I don't really think that's necessary. Just roll like this. All right, now we have to play against 4-color Deathrite Shaman and win on the play and on the draw in games, in post-board games, when they already had Energy Flux in their main in pre-board games. I don't know. Okay. I mean, there's a lot of prison shops right now. The problem is, like, I just don't think Energy Flux is good against Jewel, which makes it kind of a hard sell. This hand just doesn't have enough mana in it to keep. This hand has too much mana in it, but we'll keep. I can probably get away with bottoming Lotus. What is this going on? Oh, they're just mulliganing. Yo, welcome back, Nix. We were listening to some of your stream. It was nice. They kept in Mental Misstep versus me? Whatever. Maybe this is supposed to name Ren and 6, not Deathrite Shaman. It's kind of hard to say. Probably should just be Ren and 6. Wasteland against my 6 mana? Sure. All right, I need help. Oh, they just have Vigor? Okay. I don't know. I'm not even sure we can ever win 2 games in this matchup. I guess it's better than me metamorphing and then Vigor in response, so. I need to draw Nettlesys, probably. Crucible, not bad. I don't have a Wasteland or a Saga, but bringing back Workshop seems okay there. Yeah. Probably on copy their Deathrite Shaman Ooh. I'll play the Nettlesys first in case they have a Vigor. I don't think it's fast enough for me to hit the Deathrite Shaman, so just gonna play a second Nettlesys. Yeah, this is something. I mean, it's unfortunately stopped by exactly a single Vigor, but or a Flux. That's such a good draw. I guess it's not a great draw because they have a Death Art to eat it, but killing the first mana is probably good. Yeah, but did you conclude that losing to Magic the Gathering auto stack to a game 1 energy flux was part of the deal, not me? Was that part of the thing I signed up for? Ancestral? Ponder. Okay. I mean, I'm used to these bug decks playing main deck energy flux. I would be less upset about, or I'm more upset about the auto stack when I have lethal because the energy flux actually doesn't do anything. Like, I have the energy flux beat on board. All I have to do is sack my Null Rod first and then pay for both of the dudes and I win. So like the energy flux itself doesn't actually matter. I don't. The energy flux is just whatever. Hello, Fury? I mean, the other part of it is I should never have played the Null Rod, right? playing the Null Rod was really bad. So like part of it is like I just played badly, you know? If I just played better in game one, I would have won game one. You got one life left. What you got for us? Time walk? Expressive iteration? Expressive iteration to Lotus Shattering Spree. Or Lotus Flux. Actually, Flux we beat because we can just save one Nettle Cyst and win. Well, we got a game on the play. Can we win a game on the draw? Can we win 3-0? That would be pretty impressive. Can I make any changes? Maybe I should play Dismember. Like I take out Chalice on the draw, and I take out something and play 2 Dismember. Seems fine. Three ball is real bad here. Three ball is still good if they like play Island Go and I go Workshop Trinisphere. We've never played the Masticore. I think it's still fine. It's definitely not amazing. I'm not gonna say it's great, but I think it still has merit. All right. Focus. We gotta play expert level Magic here. Draw great hands. We drew the Trinisphere. I think it's just fine. I think this is fine. This 3-ball looks okay. Like we have, Dismember, Oof, Wasteland them, 3-ball. I think this should be good. Is Crucible restricted? No, I just wanted something in my sideboard to help me grind, and I played one Crucible. Oh, all right. So we get to jam Trinisphere on turn 1. Cool. What you got, homie? Force? Yep, Force. Okay. I mean, that went pretty well. They have 4 cards left in their hand. We've got Advana advantage. We have Saga and Wastelands. I mean, I'm pretty happy with the current board state. We can even like metamorph a Deathrite Shaman and then dismember the Deathrite Shaman. Is it lagging? I don't think any bits are dropping, so probably your end. Maybe just restart the browser. Badlands. Demonic? Huh. Sapphire? Ancestral? Okay. You got it, homie. Is it like Needle, Wasteland, play Saga? Get wrecked by Vigor? I could Wasteland, Wasteland. I could Wasteland Badlands so they don't Ren and 6 me. Yeah, chests are bugged right now. I mean, I feel like we just have to hope they have nothing. Maybe I'll just... I need this Saga to be good, right? Even if it puts me off of Wasteland? I think so. Yeah, I mean, they had Demonic, Ancestral, Sapphire, Force, like... They had all the good cards. What am I going to do? It's pretty rough. Maybe I should have Wastelanded them on turn 1? That doesn't sound right to me. Fuck! Well, the point is, I need to get a Saga in play now and actively attack them now. I can't wait. If I wait, I'm just losing. Every turn this game goes, my opponent is more likely to win. So I think it makes sense to just play our Saga and get in Needle Wasteland and just hope they have nothing. I mean, it clearly doesn't look like they have much right now. So there's like a plus side here, but... I mean, now they have hardcast everything. Vigor, Force of Will. I'm not even sure that's good. Guess it's fine. I mean, I only played one Crucible. Could be wrong to only play one Crucible for what it's worth. I'm not even sure like what opponent could play that I could Metamorph here that would be good. I'm not sure there really is anything. Metamorph are looking a little sus here. I mean, it's lucky that my opponent had to pitch an Oko to negation. We would never beat an Oko from this spot either. Ren strip mine lock. I have to needle Ren or strip mine now. Incredible. The fact that they drew the strip mine after I needled Wasteland is just peak Justin. They don't have hardcast Force of Will for what it's worth, but they probably have hardcast Force of Vigor. I don't know. Like, if this doesn't resolve and copy and work, then I don't think we have a game anyways, so... We'll just jam it and pray. I mean, they can now, if they ever draw Vigor in the rest of this game, we lose. They're bricked off here. They don't have anything. Both players have nothing. So what's my best draw? Nettle Cyst? You're right. I had a Sapphire. My own strip mine. Imagine if we like... I guess I don't have Null Rod in my deck, but they've drawn, what, all of their Moxen? I think they have any Moxen left. I think I just hold this strip mine. I don't think it does anything to use it. They have something. They probably have Force of Will, if I had to guess. I think they had Force of Will, and they had the sphere was stopping them from hard casting Force of Will, is my guess. So I think our next play that gets cast is going to get countered. You can't cast Karn in this deck. I don't play Karn. All right, they drew something. What is it? No, Needle, or is it a Death Ray Shaman? No, it's a Collector Roof. That'd be pretty funny. Oh, that's 4 mana. I mean, I can't beat anything. Beseiju, I am completely at my opponent's mercy. I have nothing. They have too many restricted cards. Time Walk? Treasure Cruise? I don't know. Nothing? Nothing is probably bad because that means it's like Beseiju, right? I mean, they would just Beseiju this and then buy back, strip mine, and then strip mine lock me again. I mean, they can cast anything. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 mana. Anything they want, they can cast. I don't know what would make them so concerned. Why are we tanking on this? This is the easiest win the game scenario of all time. Any choice you make is winning. Okay, maybe not any choice, because that is a little sus. Like, now I can draw Metamorph and Needle Oko. They don't have Hardcast Force anymore because of Sphere. So if I top deck something good on this turn, we can win. It might actually just have to be Metamorph on Needle, though, because if it's anything else, it's probably not good enough. Trying to think of like what else would be good. I guess yeah, Crucible doesn't work because they can just turn off my Needle and bring back Strip Mine. Okay, draw. Patchwork Boy. I don't have Mystic Forge in my deck. I don't think this deck wants Mystic Forge. They can swap this, I guess. Nah, they should just turn off my Needle and get back to doing this thing. Like, they're not close to dying. Why? Why? I don't like this. I think we lose, though, so I don't know if it matters. Yeah, it's so doomed. I just didn't have a chance, unfortunately. My opponent had too much power. And also strip mine. I guess the strip mine was the real problem because we had Needle on Wasteland and had a Saga, and they didn't seem like they had an answer to Saga, and then they hit strip mine, right? That's kind of the story of my life, though, I guess. All right, so if I draw a 3-drop that is an artifact that can block or something, I don't know. Whatever. Nothing we do matters because they can just steal at that point. I guess we can draw a sky ship. Yeah, they can just swap the Lotus and the Patchwork and pay, and I die on. But they can also hardcast Force. They can do whatever. They could make Lotus a thing and attack. That also works. I mean, I think they've had hardcast Force this entire game, so. Yeah, I mean, our cards were just not good enough to beat my opponents, which is kind of how I thought this matchup would go. We just need to not lose game 1. Rip. All right. It is what it is. I should never have played the Null Rod, which put me in a precarious situation. And then I should have been able to beat MTGO auto-stacking me because I had a Mana Vault, and I threw that away because I played it too fast. I think I had the idea in my head of how to do the Mana Vault thing, but I hit the wrong Mana Vault stack. So... yeah. I also could have not F6'd, and that way, at the end of turn, I could have turned off stack abilities automatically, which I'm not sure I would have done, to be fair. We'll see. I guess we're going to play round 4. Our breakers probably not going to be good enough, but we'll give it our best shot. Okay, 6th and final round. We're up against Sai here, who is a Oath player. So we're going to get Vigor, Pernicious Deed, Oath, you know, the normal things. This hand's quite good, though, so maybe it'll be good enough. We're on the play. We've got turn 1 Trinisphere. If they don't have a Force, then we have a good game plan. Maybe we'll be lucky. It's a very, very bad matchup. I do have 2 Grafdigger's Cages in my sideboard, though. I was ready. Were we on the play in every match? No. I think we were on the play in 5 of 6. We were on the play 0 of 6 last round, or last tournament, so it's just the universe coming back for me. I think the one where we were not on the play, we lost. No, we actually lost to mono white. Ooh, we got a resolving 3-ball. All right. Can I get a wasteland off the top? Strip mine. My Oath opponent who doesn't play is the one strip mine, right? Okay, we have a Saga. We'll be fine. Yeah, it's just a one of strip mine so that the Oath deck can beat Bazaar. Okay. Fetch land, so that doesn't even get beat by Wasteland anyways. Oh, didn't draw another land, so we have no play. Okay. Another land, all right. One more land and they have an Oath and we lose. Oh, what if we get a Needle on Flooded Strand? I would definitely Needle Flooded Strand if I had drawn a land. No, it can't be right. Can't be right. If I had drawn a land, I would have. I believe we have to go Metamorph on Oko. It might be worse than just playing Nettlecyst. I mean, Revoker, yeah. I think needling them there is not good. If like I said, if I had drawn the mana that I needed to play a three drop this turn, or anything on this turn, I would have. But or if I had drawn Wasteland, looks like they didn't draw it. Maybe. Nope, they drew it. Ooh, they didn't have an oath. They can force things now. Just get a Revoker on Oko going here. I guess theoretically I could play a Sphere as well. That would technically stop this. I think my opponent is going to go like Vamp for Oath or something. Or maybe they have like Assassin's Trophy on Trinisphere. Brainstorm. That's good for us. It means they're really digging to try to find an oath. How fast is our clock? 5, 7, 8. It is not currently fast enough to be an oath. Their oath creatures are Atraxa, Sarah's Emissary. I can't beat either of those resolving. I guess they could play Deed and 0. Did they draw it? Oh, they drew it. Oh, they have Deed on 1. All right, any Ancient Tombs? I hate this game, man. How do I just never draw a land ever? Unreal, man. Actually unreal. What a rough back half of this tournament. You got me, homie. I guess I should have named Pernicious, dude. Yeah, I mean, I also played a 3-ball and my opponent had their 1-strip mine. Lots of things went wrong. Let's put it that way. Cages are in. Null rods are out. Masticore, I guess, is in. And Crucible is in. Sure. All right, I guess we do what we gotta do. Keep. So now, wait, they don't play any vigors? It's kind of interesting. They do play their own Null Rod. Probably this is just name Beseju. They mulled a 4. I mean, I have to keep this hand. It has like a... Oh, I did this the wrong way. If they had vigor, this is a bad sequence. Maybe I'll just hold this needle. Sapphire Oath? Ooh, God, thank gosh. It was not Sapphire Oath. We just can't beat that. We have to like play our saga and hope we get it to resolve and get a cage. Which it looks like it might. Maybe in that case, I am just supposed to needle on Beseju or strip mine or deed. Kind of hard to... Yeah, you got it. Sure. Help, I'm in pain. Why is everyone keeping mental misstep in against me? I guess maybe this player, it's for cage. Well, I mean, they shouldn't have an oath, right? Or they would have just played it. So they shouldn't have an oath here. I guess they could have an Oko. But we should be beating Oko with this board. They mulligan quite a lot. So I think there's a chance. Yeah, it's a W. We were going to draw cage anyways. Pog. Do we bring in trap? No, they don't have enough mocks in their deck. I mean, they have full mocks in, but it doesn't really stop that. All right, let's just resubmit with this. All right, we probably need to have a cage in our opener now. Oh, maybe I should have played out game 1 because I could draw Metamorph on Sarah's Emissary. If I do Metamorph on Sarah's Emissary, name creature, and then... Or does that not work? No, that should work. And then Metamorph, if I draw a second Metamorph on Sarah's Emissary and name Planeswalker, and then I guess they would eventually deed me out. And they have Gaia's Blessing. Yeah, I guess that wouldn't work. Never mind. Do we just mulligan this hand because it doesn't have a cage? No, that's not what happened at all. They named creature, and it's not that you can't play it. It's that they have protection from it. You have the wrong card in your mind. I think you're talking about like Iona or something. I think this hand is just bad. Okay, I'm going to keep this one. Hope we draw mana. that should go well, right, chat? Maybe I'll put back this Nettlecist. They just have too many things that kill my stuff. Like, how can I answer all of these things? Another cage. Well, I think we do the first one we name Beseju, and the second one we name Oko, and then the third one we name Pernicious Deed. Is it Reaches Skyward? Is that what it is? No, it's not that. What the fuck? Who endures? Why doesn't it appear? Oh, I have to name a non-land with Provoker. That's why. So I have to name Oko to start with this one. I have the Needle, which can name Beseju. All right, so here's Oath, and I have Double Cage. So we'll just have to find out if that's enough. Hopefully I draw, like, I don't know, Wasteland, I guess? Cage. Force. They had Oko. Cage. All right, do they have Nature's Claim or Beseju? Nope, we live again. Okay, so now I want to draw like a workshop so that I can go Revoker and Metamorph. Yes. So, well, not exactly yes, but I'm pretty sure we're just going to Metamorph Cage. Well, we're playing Needle first. I guess it doesn't help us. If they have a Beseju, we just lose to Beseju, right? Come on, man. I can't have a better hand than this. I literally can't have any, like, this is the best it gets. It does not get better. I had both cages. I knew I was having too much luck in the first 3 rounds. I knew it was too much. I'm just in pain, man. I'm just in pain. Like, I have to make that play. Because they could just not have a removal spell and then I'll win. Fuck this game, man. No, I have to name like a million different things. This sucks. All right. It is what it is. This deck felt pretty good, honestly. We just were not as powerful as our last round opponents, and obviously the mistake that I made in the 5th round in terms of auto stacking abilities lost us that chance. But to be fair, the 5th and 6th rounds were against absolutely impossible matchups, just extremely, extremely poor matchups where one player had, you know, main deck Energy Flux and the other player is playing Oath. I think the main thing is we really need to win against Mono White in round 4, and we just did not have a strong enough draws to compete with their draws. So that is quite a few viewers. Thank you, Spike. I hope you had a good run. I saw that you were maybe in top 8, so congratulations. We are just finishing up our vintage challenge here. We finished 3-3 with this Null Rod Aggro deck, which I think was actually a really good call on the day, but we just didn't really get across the finish line. Make sure you check out the YouTube channel. New vintage videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'll see you then.